is Konstantin, and in this video I will be installing a new instance of Magento using one of the greatest cPanel features, which is Installatron, the application's installer. So installing Magento using Installatron is one of the fastest ways of getting your application up and running within several minutes. So let's get on with it. So here's the Installatron applications installer. Let's hit that. So on this screen I have all the instances of Magento already listed that are already installed. So I'm going to install a new instance of Magento, so I will go to Applications Browser. Right, so on this screen we are looking for the e-commerce and business section, and Magento is the first application in the list. So let's click that. Right, so on this screen we have a choice of either installing a new instance by install this application or import the existing install. That is in case you already have a Magento installed in some other folders on your hosting account and you want to import that Magento installation to a different folder. So we'll be dealing with a new Magento installation, so we'll choose install this application. Right, so here we have some introductory text, and we'll just go to the next step. Now on this screen we have a choice of where we want Magento to be installed. So by default you will have a choice of your primary domain that you registered with your hosting account. So I've registered several domains. That's why I have quite a big list here. I've already created some subdomains as well. So for this tutorial I will be installing a Magento to a subdomain of my of one of my domains, which is magentodemo.bcubic.eu. Right, so this next box gives us a choice of installing Magento application not to the root folder for that subdomain, but to a subfolder. So we don't want that, so I'll just delete the text from the path box. And now it says that the install location is going to be directly magentodemo.bcubic.eu, so without any subfolders on that. Right, so let's hit next. Let's agree with the notice. Now on this screen we have an option of choosing which version of Magento we want to install. So you're not limited to installing only the latest version. You can also install one of the earlier versions of Magento, but for this tutorial we'll be installing the latest version. Right, so let's hit next. Right, on this screen we have a user agreement. So we'll just accept that. That's a standard text. On this new screen we have an option to either let the system manage the database settings for you. And what this means is that Installatron will create a database, create a database user, and also will add some prefixes to your database table names. So this is a good way of doing this installation if you don't want to get involved in creating the database yourself. In my case I did create a database beforehand because I don't want any prefixes to my tables, and I want clean table database name. So I will just choose the let me manage the database settings, and on this screen you have all the settings that you need to define in order to link the database to this installation. Right, so I've just defined all the database settings, and on the next screen the system gives us the ability to define the username for the admin, the administrator password, the first and this last name of the store owner. By default it's just store owner, and the email for the admin. So one of the some other settings that we also have on this screen are the encoding key, which system generated by default for us, and we also have the ability to have the clean installation of Magento or add some sample data, which is great because if you install Magento manually, then you have to load the sample data into the database before you start the installation. So it's a bit a different process. So the whole thing is automated when using Installatron. Alright, so I've defined all the admin settings on the previous screen, and I've chosen to get the sample data installed as well. So on this screen we only have one choice of submitting all the information that we've specified to the system and to begin the installation of Magento. So let's hit submit. implementation ready. So it's Magento bcubic.eu. Let's go and see how this looks like. So here we have the freshly installed Magento with all the sample data being loaded, and the whole procedure took somewhere about 5 minutes to get Magento up and running. So I'm using the UK Web Solutions Direct hosting service. These guys are great. So I've had a few obstacles while using Magento with that hosting company, but all of them have been resolved, and I have no complaints about speed of Magento or any other issues. So everything is solvable. So here it is. We can also go back and log into the Magento admin by using the admin and the password I've defined while installing Magento. Let's log in. So here we are looking at the back end of Magento.